DS Session 134, Adventures with Rob. Tonight, we phone it in with Rob and his quest for the mastery of the 308.
Because I have a shotgun and rifle that I use for, and 22 gauge that I use for ptarmigan, moose, and black bear.
You're so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
You're listening to your weekly dose of BS, Ballistically Speaking. The Ballistically Speaking Podcast.
Ooh-wee, the chat's fired up already.
Yeah, I want to highlight Joel Anthony. All kinds of fucked up in this country. Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty easy way to summarize it here as a recent. So
just a reminder, we can't say fucked up in the first 5 minutes of the YouTube video. Eh?
I know. That's why I say it in the first minute.
The first 10 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Apparently 51,000 jobs lost in July. I don't know if they're mostly in Alberta, but yeah, probably.
I read 40-some thousand today, but God only knows what the real number is. But hey, elbows up, everyone. Good to see you. Yeah. Woo! Don't you? You probably dance with your hands in the air too, don't you?
Oh, like I just don't care. Yeah.
Oh man!
I just want to say, people, if you haven't already grabbed an alcoholic beverage, please
you may want to buckle in for this one. Feelings may get hurt tonight.
I think I drank enough 2 shows ago to
tie you over
for about the next 8 shows or more.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So today we are joined by Rob. Again.
Rob, introduce yourself for those viewers that don't know you or forgot about you, or a little bit of both.
Yeah, my name's Rob. I am just another Albertan that decided to destroy his mental stability by getting into long-range shooting and find supposed friends in the community that were supposed to help me and have just done a very good job at depleting my bank account.
How do you destroy what you never had?
Fair enough. Yeah.
We are the worst enablers in this community.
Oh God. Yeah.
Derek, how much money would you have if I never got you into shooting?
A lot.
Ask Yenzi the same question. I'm surprised I'm even allowed in his house anymore.
I mean, it's like that old meme. When you die, you look the same, whether you're rich, poor, or own a bunch of guns.
It's all about the experience.
You might as well do what makes you happy and buy the rifles. And
us with the gun laws we have in Canada, eh?
Oh, we'll get to that, but we should pay our bills first.
I know. I'm priming myself.
Get primed up. Gonna be some hot.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hola, Nancy. Hello to everyone else that speaks, regular languages. Sorry, Nancy. Should we get to the sponsors?
Yep.
All right. Glad to hear consensus across the panel. Our show tonight is brought to you, as always, by Callsign 66, Canada's best rifle training. Welcome to the Brotherhood. Book a course now at Callsign 6. Let me try that again. Book a course at callsign66.ca and follow them on Instagram at callsign66, all spelled out, and on Facebook at C/S66.
And we are brought to you by Ribstone Gunsmithing. Craftsmanship done right. Contact Oscar at ribstonegunsmithing.ca and breathe life back into any firearm. Oscar also has a new book out titled Rust Bluing in the 21st Century. Find it on Amazon.
March Scopes Canada, the Dion Optical design line of rifle scopes, has a scope for all of your hunting and shooting needs. Find Doug and Niza at marchscopes.ca.
Apex Optics is here with us tonight. When you buy Apex, precision comes standard. Check out all the fine competition rifle scopes, red dots, and binoculars at apexoptics.co. Just a quick note, as always, Apex is tariff proof. Is that still the case?
Yep.
I sure hope so.
Right. Canadian and international orders shipped direct from their Calgary warehouse, and American orders shipped from the great state of Texas. No tariffs, no hassle. That's catchy. I like that.
It is.
Who wrote that?
And we also say the great state of Texas because they are great.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite states.
We might be there next year. That's foreshadowing.
The great state of Texas and the 51st state of Texas.
Fingers
We have a
crossed.
lot in common. But we are also brought to you by EM Precision Rifles in Megarville, Alberta, building Canada's finest precision rifles. Find Shane and Steve on Facebook, Instagram, and on their website at emprifles.ca.
Bolt Action Coffee, bringing specialty coffee to the precision shooting world. Order coffee and merchandise at boltactioncoffee.com.
Odell Engineering. Pick up a Canuck shotgun, Bergera rifle, and Apex ammunition from your local distributor and tell them Phil sent you. Look them up on Instagram, Flakebook, and on their website at odellengineeringltd.com.
Kurt, do you have old show notes?
Probably.
We haven't said
No.
we haven't said
I'm
Flakebook in a
looking.
while.
What's that?
We haven't said Flakebook in a while. We changed
I
it.
know. I improvised. I prefer Flakebook over
Okay.
Facebook.
I thought we were doing a Burgundy teleprompter thing, but never mind.
Oh,
And last but not least, we have Sterling Arms International, home of the R18 Mark III and the R9 Mark I. They may be down, but they are not out. Stay tuned for the latest updates on the battle to get the R9 back.
and go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Okay, now we can swear. I think we're in for enough.
No.
Yeah, we're in the clear now.
All right. Shall we go? Or
we got.
we remind folks,
Mhm.
do we have a draw going on?
Hell yeah.
All right. We have a draw going on. Okay, next. No. We have a full custom 338 Lapua built by EM Precision Rifles. It's a Curtis Custom Helix action, an IBI 30-inch really heavy barrel, fitted with a custom EM Precision muzzle brake, special EM Precision branded trigger text trigger, of course,
Yep.
all laid into a full custom laminated stock by Rifles Refined. And even though I said the same damn thing last podcast, I still haven't gotten the picture of the rifle up on our website, but it's somewhere to be found on Facebook and Instagram on our page and account, whatever. It's there somewhere. Yeah, $20 entry or $20 per entry can be sent to info@bspodcast.ca. Make sure that we can get a hold of you when you send the entry in. Include your personal email. It doesn't always show up, as well as your phone number. We've got that way. We have two methods of getting a hold of you. Draw will happen once we reach 500 entries. We're about halfway through, and yeah, that's all I got to say. Beautiful rifle. It may very well be, no guarantee, but it may very well be the best $20 338 Lapua you'll ever own. I'm pretty sure it will be.
I'd recommend spending at least $40 or $60 though.
I would too. Yeah.
You increase your chances.
I mean, your other option is pay over 10,000, so like 20,000.
Yeah.
The maths, people.
That's some new math I can get behind.
I was better at anatomy than I was at math, so I'm out.
That's why we took up long range shooting, because there's no math involved at all.
Yeah, none.
Zero. I have
None.
You got one of them fancy new calculators?
No, it's a Real German. I own one.
I don't think you're allowed to own them, but you have an acquaintance with one.
You don't know.
No.
All right. Where are we going, Mike? Lead this sucker.
All right. I just got a couple of quick notes for those that current events. We haven't really done many current events, so we're going to start jumping into that. There is the petition for the Save the Penticton gun range. That's the E6572, brought to us by Dan Albus of the Okanagan Lake, South Kelowna. We are only at 8,800 signatures, people, and that is rookie numbers. So go find that petition and sign it. And remember that you have to approve it with your email. Canadian listeners only. I know you Americans want to help, but you can't do it. So just make a note of that. That's petition 6572. Let's bump up those numbers. And the upcoming PRS matches, we have the August 16th qualifier at Engage Precision in Manitoba, and on the 17th, also in Manitoba, Engage Precision Day 2. MDT, Midsummer Madness, August 29th, 30th, 31st. In Lower Nicholas, essentially Merritt, BC. That's your Pro Series match. Tabor, August 30th. We got the Long Range Fuds match, which is a great warm-up for the September 6th and September 7th weekend at Saperl for Centerfire. So mark your calendar and sign up if you haven't already.
Excellent. King of 2 Miles is coming up September 12th through 14th as well in Alberta.
Yeah, we don't want to forget that one.
Sorry, did I jump in? Oh, no.
No, you jumped in at the exact right time. That was it.
Yeah.
Those are the upcoming matches.
I'll have one complete practice in for.
Yeah, practice is good in theory. All it does is tire you out.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's been too hot.
It has. It's been. We're finally getting some rain, but now it's just sticky. And our 3 Ontario listeners are like, "Oh, you think this is sticky?"
we just need water wings in Calgary.
Yeah, you guys have just been dumped on, Rob.
It's just been horrible.
And I'm sorry,
Horrible.
I do not like.
We're never satisfied.
No.
All right, Rob, you joined us here. What are you doing here? None of us have any idea. You begged and pleaded.
Please make me famous.
Please, fellas, I want to join the show.
Well, I think we're going to talk about a reloading journey.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the whole thing if we can. You've I'm not sure exactly where you started, where we met. You were into it a fair ways already, and you and I have had quite a few conversations about a lot of it, more so the reloading part of it than the shooting part.
Yep.
I'm not sure when you kind of got hooked up with EM Precision, things like that. So your background, I guess we've never really gone too far into your background. Not that we need to go really far back, like when you joined us on one of the Remembrance Day specials.
Yeah.
We talked about some of your service and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What that all meant to you. But when and where and how did you kind of get into the precision rifle thing? And don't forget to leave out the conversations we've had about factory ammo versus hand loading. I want to be sure to touch on that.
There was it was around 2016, 2017. The wife and I decided to jump in and start a gun business, like Gothic Line Armory. And the focus there was on precision rifles, right? So we started down that path, and I'd never shot a precision rifle. My military was armored, so I shot a tank. I was a tank gunner. And I mean, that's long range in itself. And it's played, there's been a lot of similarity that I've drawn on shooting the long range. You have a ballistic computer in a tank. You rely on ballistic software. You have all those same type of principles. You have to do a correction shoot. You're relying on a reticle. So there was stuff I can draw parallels to there. And it was during my time with Gothic that I stumbled across EM Precision. I was looking for a company to build us our own branded long range rifles, and found those guys, and we started that relationship. And then I was just like, well, if we're gonna sell them, the guy should shoot them. And we were when it came to ammo, the Canadian market being what it is for retailers, and being that we were internet only, it was tough to get certain brands of ammo. So when you look at probably something like Federal, the Gold Match, we had a hard time getting access to that. And we ended up having access to Black Hills at the time. So I was shooting factory Black Hills, right? The 175 Mark Mod, or what is it? That sniper ammo they call it, Mark 262 Mod 1 or whatever. I can't remember. Yeah. And it was damn good ammo, right? It's equivalent to a Federal Gold Match for 308, right? And it's a good shooting ammo. And the question was, well, how come you're not reloading? And at the time, I was like, I didn't want to. We had something that shot well. It shot within the skill set that I had.
Right. So,
and the wallet.
The thing you have to be well for sure. The thing a lot of people have to consider too, I guess, is that initial investment in the equipment. And now, when I say initial investment in reloading equipment, it is just that.
It's initial and then a continuous.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, when we look back, like we're talking like 2018, 2019, and you're looking at a cost of Federal Gold Match for 20 back then. We're probably like $30, right?
Right.
And when you started looking at that initial investment, like you said, well, you're getting all your reloading equipment and then buying your components. It was either a wash or more expensive to reload at that time, right?
Yeah.
And
all considered.
Yeah, and the age old, well, how do you value your time? It's a valuable statement, but it also to me is I don't put a number to that, right? I do lots of work on my own vehicles, and it's not a number I put on my time. It's just I know I'm not paying somebody else to do it, so that's a value to me, right? So if I'm sitting behind a reloading bench, reloading, I mean, that time is going to be value spent because it's not money coming out of my pocket, right? But we come to after the old coronavirus, and we started having, shipping issues and prices, and then shortages. People were stockpiling, and the price of ammo really started going up. And as I started competing more, I mean, guys, I typically shoot about 1,000 rounds a year. That's what I allocate for, matches, right?
Yeah.
That starts adding up. Like a box of Federal Gold Match right now, I think is $64.
Right. It's over $3 a shot.
Yeah. Right. So I had to start looking at reloading purely from a pocket standard, right? I found a great app. It's called Cost of Reloading. And you just plug in numbers and it spits out all kinds of interesting information, right? It'll give you your cost per reload. It'll tell you how many rounds you have to reload before you break even from your initial investment. Tells you how much you're saving. So it was a good tool to mathematically figure out if it was the time to get into reloading or not. And it was. It turned out I was lucky. I had about 500 pieces of Lake City brass saved up for the 308, so I didn't have to invest in brass, which is always a pricey venture.
Yep.
So my initial investment was pretty low. I went with that lineman kit that you get at Cabela's. That's where I started, right? And I think I think regular price they're about $900, just under $1,000. And if you watch it, you can get it as low as $700.
Right.
And it is.
And
it's all
and it came with.
Go ahead.
It came with most of the stuff that, most everything you need to reload except for dies, wasn't it?
Yeah, like all the stuff that you would be more rifle specific, right, or more caliber specific. So you need to buy the dies after it, your shell holders, your comparators. Like it does come with a dial indicator, micrometer, but you have to get your comparators, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty much it. It came like even right down to some lube, right?
Oh.
So yeah, it's got an 8-position turret press, sturdy. You know, it's a I think an excellent investment spot, right? If you're going to start out.
Right, that app that you're talking about, then do you plug the cost of your equipment in there too, and it'll kind of it'll account for that? So what are you at now for cost per round if it
shoot.
Yeah.
I don't
just curious if you knew offhand.
I think it's well under $2. I think it's about $1.50, $1.80.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, again, that was without the cost of brass, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. As we get in the conversation, you'll see that I'm getting to a point where I need to start investing in brass for the 308. Yeah.
I'm gonna chime in here on this because I got a big bag of 308 brass here in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm shooting TAC this year. That is the Lapua small rifle primer stuff. And right now, Prophet River has it for $195 for a box of 100.
What?
So essentially, damn near $2 for a piece of brass.
Oh my god!
If you want to go for the large rifle primer pocket, you're looking at about $155 for a 100 count large rifle primer pocket.
But I mean, you're buying like Lapua.
Yes.
Yep. So honestly, if I was, and I am buying brass like this here, that's my 300 PRC that I got on the bench here, and I've just started hoarding the stuff to start reloading for it, and I've bought Lapua brass for it. But if I was to buy brass, and I am going to have to for my 308, I think I'm stuck on 2 different brands. One is Sig Brass, which was available at Cabela's, and it was extremely affordable, or Lapua. And every time I look at Lapua, it's very plus or minus to any other brand out there, whether it be Hornady or God, you name it, Peterson or Elf, you know what I mean? And it's like, it is excellent brass. So as far as I'm concerned, I think Lapua is probably your best budget brass you're going to find for quality.
Oh, I think so, for sure.
Another thing with brass you got to figure is also your use life. What is your expected number of firings before you're going to have to retire it?
100%. So again, I'm not fanatical about my reloading. So there's stuff that I don't do, like keeping track of how many firings are in each brass. It gets shot and it goes into a bucket and cleaned and out it goes, right? So, but roughly the pieces of brass, they've got about 3 firings on them. Yeah.
Well, you keep blowing extractors out of your rifles. That brass is probably going to suffer too, mister.
Well, we're going there already.
Yeah, we might as well jump into it.
How about let's carry on to build a little bit up to that point. How about
that?
So you started getting into reloading.
Yep. So it was driven by money, right? That's where I got there from. And it wasn't because I wanted to, like, oh geez, I've learned everything there is to how to be behind a rifle and I need a new challenge in my life. It was purely money driven, right? I didn't need to spend time away from anybody else anymore or anything like that. It was driven by the wallet and being able to afford what I like to do. So
Right.
But if you are going to reload, then I think it behooves you to take it serious and chase down the accuracy improvement aspect that you should get from reloading, right? If you're going to do it, you might as well do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on your game, I guess. But your game was, well, it's kind of in the name, precision rifles.
Yep. Exactly. So, again, now that comes to like, what kind of dies are you going to buy, right? So you can buy dies. Well, I could have bought a set of dies for 308, I think, for like $40, depending on what, you know what I mean? Like some of the lower end stuff. But as we know, when it comes to precision shooting, the name of the game is consistency, no matter what you do. And you're not going to get the consistency you want from those lower end dies. So I ended up buying some Redding Type S match dies for my 308.
Right.
And I think that set me back around $350, $400, right, for the set of dies.
Jesus.
Yeah. But it's better than that. And it's when you start, you're down in the spending your couple hours at night pounding away at the bench, and you're taking the stuff out and you're measuring it, and it's always exactly the same, or plus or minus a thou. You're like, okay, that's what you paid for, and it's good to see that investment pays off, right?
And again,
absolutely.
Going back to that volume use, if you're, reloading that 500 pieces of brass and you intend to do that 8-10 times over, you do the math, that adds up pretty quick for how many rounds are running through that one set of dies.
It adds up quick. Yep. Yep.
You ever tried to cut a set of die or a die body? I've had to shorten a few.
Oh my
God!
I
tried that, Derek, on your lathe? That is a treat. And of course, some are harder than others. But I have, we have a set of dies for the 25 by 47 Ackley that Yenzi and I came up with, and it won't the size won't push the shoulder back quite far enough for a real nice fit in the chamber. So what I actually ended up doing was putting it on the lathe and trying to cut some of it down. I basically took a stone to the bottom and took 3 thou off. That was there's a bit of elbow grease in that, but
I'm point assuming you didn't have the tool post grinder close at hand.
No. My brain was just going wild about how I can jimmy rig one up.
Yeah.
Dremel makes a universal tool post grinder.
Dremel does?
Dremel does, yeah.
Yeah, just
Dremel with the right hand.
I'm gonna have to jump on the Googler machine tomorrow and find that.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is what you guys were talking about processing thousands of rounds through that same die. It does pay to have a good quality set of dies. Like Lee, they're an economy die. They're not as hard. Their finishes aren't as nice, things like that. But not everybody needs that. But it's definitely worth the investment. I know, Rob, I tried to convince you that you don't necessarily need to pay $350 for a set of dies. I've been perfectly happy for decades with various Hornady dies, but it's preference. I can't say. Yeah, there you go.
So the custom grade are a nice set of dies.
We do learn things, and not $400.
That's right. Yeah.
But Hornady match grade dies, and that's going to be for the 300. I got talked into these by one of my mentors, and the volume of rounds going to go through the 300 does not equate the number of rounds that goes through the 308, right? So I think it's a good trade off for sure.
Yeah.
I gotta say the elliptical type expander on the Hornady dies is nice.
Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah. You notice nobody here is waving the RCBS dies flag. Hey.
There we go.
If
No.
it's in
Yeah.
stock and I need it, I'll use it.
Well, yeah. Last ditch for sure. I'll
Reloading
I'll
is not the
endorse that,
game
but-
of this is my perfect load with these perfect components curated by me from my local boutique gun shop. They had this in stock. It goes bang. Good enough. This is the reality in 2025.
Mike, I think you might need a timeout there, son.
No. I'm looking at Vidivori powder. And everything's in
Vidivori's
metric.
good.
It is probably good, but I've never read metric, so I don't know what to do. They use all these weird little measurements.
It's called math, Mike, and computers.
Right.
It's the wrong units of measurement.
Well, you just leave Vidivori then for the rest of us. All right, so your progression then, Rob, you got into it, and you started a little bit on the learning curve. You got some advice on dies. Where did it go from there?
Well, if you and again, we talked a little bit about, Rob, what was your story? How'd you get here? And the whole 712.
Sure.
That was born from the business, and I've kept it as a shooting brand. And even when we had the gun business, my mentality was like, when I started looking into long range shooting, you go to the internet, right? Who doesn't go to the internet? I got to fix my car. I go to the internet. I got YouTube, right? And I was quickly appalled at the quality of information available. There's no shortage of information, but what's out there I thought was just ridiculous for the most part, and it didn't make any sense, right?
Hot
and
trash.
and then when it came to reloading, it was probably even worse. You think there's superstitions and weird traditions around long range shooting. Why, you can't do this because of that. Get into reloading and start hearing people's traditions and superstitions about what you should and shouldn't do. It's just insane. So I quickly was like, holy cow. Again, I was fortunate to have a group of people that I was around already that were fantastic mentors, like Kurt, yourself, Shane, and Steve, within EM Precision, the boys over at Call Sign 66, just an immediate group of people I could lean on and be like, what is the reality of what I'm reading and seeing and watching? And they quickly cut through the crap, right? So
100%. Like 325 years worth of experience in that small group alone.
Yeah, right? So 100%. So I don't say anybody else there, if you're like looking at this, like, do I reload and I'm scared or not scared, but you're just concerned about how to go about it. You're not making heads or tail of what's on the internet. Well, you're not alone. And I can't recommend enough that reaching out and trying to find a mentor somewhere, right?
Yeah. I think that's the safest bet for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about reloading is the guys that reload are not afraid to talk about reloading.
No.
The problem is getting to them to stop talking about reloading generally.
Yeah.
Another problem is being a new reloader is this guy like the wealth of knowledge, or is he just full of shit? You don't know.
Nope. And I have, as far as I'm concerned, I have the solution for that. I have the way to weed those guys out. And it's data. Like you don't shoot long range well without data, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't reload well without data. So if you start talking to a person, a potential mentor, and you ask them their process, and they don't start talking right off the bat about things like having a chronograph and using ESs and SDs as part of their process in figuring out their load, you've got the wrong guy, right? because you are looking for consistency across the board in what you're doing for reloading. And if you don't have data to back up what you're loading, then how are you reloading? What method are you using in your magic potion? Are you just like, throwing fucking chicken bones into a broth and hoping what comes out is good?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of guys have gotten away with that sort of method for long enough that the old Dunning-Kruger effect kicks in there. Well, shit, it worked for me, so it must work for everybody else, and I'm the smartest guy this side.
That's the reloading version of I aim my hunting rifle 3 inches high at 100. Well, why? Oh, I don't know. I just do.
Yeah, right. So I would say that that's probably a good benchmark to how to gauge what your potential mentor is, right? And so I learned that. And again, the guys I will talk to, it was all about the data, right? And in recording things, keeping track of it, these processes. I have Shane at EM turned me on to a fantastic spreadsheet from the guys over at the 6'5" guys.
The 6'5" guys, yep.
Yeah, the 6'5" guys, they developed a spreadsheet for doing your reloading, and it's perfect. It's you go out, you shoot your loads. You can typically load up around 9. You do your very first workup. You load up your 9 different charge weights. You've got your shooting depth. You're off 25 off your lands type thing, and you record your data. Right? You get your velocities. The chronographs these days, they'll give you your ES and SDs right away. But if you're recording your velocities and you put them into this spreadsheet, it literally kicks out right in front of your face. It's all color coded. Oh, where's the next round you should focus on? Where's the next charge you should focus on? Right? It calculates your ES and SDs. And it's like perfect. You pick one, and now you go off your seating depth, loads, and you should have a load within 18 rounds, or you know what I mean? Not 18 rounds, but I typically load like nine groups. Method. Like 9 groups of 5, so whatever that works out to. But that's a fairly quick way to get to a load that works, and it's all driven by data, right? So
that's. I'm going to chime in here about the balance, because obviously the more data and how you collect the data is good. However, it's that fine balance of more data is better, but more data is more money. So striking that balance of what is the right amount to spend in terms of time and components on gathering data for our return on investment. Yep.
So if you just keep loading and shooting, you're definitely spending money. Yep. But that's why you got to be calculated in what you're doing.
Data to use, sources for data. We talked about this a fair bit. Reader beware. It's gotten so much better. There's tons of information out on the internet. But beware where it's coming from, and but you can't necessarily know the source, but if you do enough reading, you'll see some consensus for the particular data set that you're looking for. Like you're looking at Varget loads in a 223, let's say. Some guys are up at I don't know, at 28 grains, 29 grains, or something like that. I don't think you can fit 29 grains of Varget in a 223 case, but one of the best load ever, works for me, no pressure signs, all that kind of shit. But why is everybody else saying 23.5 grains of Varget in that 223 case, right? So just beware of that. Also, I want to mention that there are other resources now. So we've got electronic resources like Gordy's reloading tool. What's the other one? Why is it slipping my mind right now? It's
Quick Load.
Quick Load. Thank you. Plug to Blake at Reloading All Day. He puts on reloading courses. We've had him on the podcast a couple of times. And he I can't remember. I think he is working toward ballistician. I know he works with ballisticians and powder manufacturers and that. But there are some good, credible sources out there.
Yeah.
Just beware where you get them. Also, I'm just going to go on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, Mikey, but there's some people who have loaded successfully for many years. But some of the fine things, like you get information out of a reloading manual, and you'll look up your particular cartridge and bullet, and it tells you a seated length for a particular bullet, and lots of guys go with just that, even though it is fairly well known that a Savage 308, let's just use that, might have a different throat length than a 700 Remington 308, things like that. I know, and it's more than just Mikey who's run into trouble with this, unknowingly jamming those bullets deep into the lands, and eventually running into trouble. Mikey, I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to pick on you. You're just a good example. So it's, you got to do a lot of work yourself, and kind of the current culture, it seems to be anymore, is that the less work I have to do myself, the better.
Yes.
I'll rely on what other people tell me, and that in reloading can be a dodgy game.
So this again lends towards, who do you pick for your mentors and who do you want to listen to on the wild, wild west, that is the internet, right? I think a very popular myth, I would call it, as far as I'm concerned, would have been chasing your lands, right? Oh, you got throat erosion, you got to keep seeding out further and further because you got to be X amount off your lands, right? And then along comes somebody like Eric Cortina that just says that's fucking horseshit, right? Chasing your lands is bullshit. There's a very popular video out there. That's exactly what it's called. Don't chase your lands, right? And so now we're talking about jump, right? And all of a sudden, everybody that's smart trying to realize, well, bullets like to jump. It all depends on how much, right?
Yeah.
So everything I was told from my mentors, you start 20th thou off your lands and you work backwards. You punch it deeper.
Well, even there, Rob, is you bet. That's actually a really good example. So Eric Cortina, very well respected, comes along and says all the things that the bench rest and F-class guys have been doing for decades is wrong.
Yep.
Now, do you?
That's bold.
Yeah. Right.
Grab onto that and say, this is new direction. This Eric said it. I think it's bullshit too. Let's just run with that. Yeah. Why do humans have the propensity to do that? And I've read actually quite a lot about this lately. I don't know why. It's
Nope. Did we lose?
Oh no. Yeah.
We might have lost Kurt.
Oh, am I back now?
Yeah.
You're back now. Try that again.
Okay, where did I leave off? It was 2 or 3 years ago that Cortina came out with that, I think.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about, I've been reading about this recently for some reason, and then you ended off.
Right, so that's where I said,
oh my God, that's hilarious.
2 or 3 years out with that. For some reason, it's up again, at least in some forums and things like that. There's a lot of bench rest and F-class guys still chasing the lands because I was reading about one guy, and I can't remember details, that kind of went that route, and
But is that not like a sample size of one, though?
In what regards? Like the guy that Kurt's talking about?
Well, any of them, because nobody, physics all works the same way, but everyone's rifle is going to be different down to the microscopic level. So,
absolutely.
How do we actually quantify something like that?
So how do we quantify that? I quantify that by the person talking, and are they successful or not, right? So
come on, you
Eric Cortina was. I don't think anybody can question his results as a shooter.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Right. So that is, I take that as a point to at least stop and listen. Right. Like, hey, let's put some time in to hear what he has to say, and perhaps try it for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Because you're 100% right. My rifle is not your rifle. Your rifle ain't my rifle. Right. And this is kind of what led to me having some extractor issues, was exactly that problem, that area, right? But if you listen and take the time to, like, oh, this guy is a person that really is not a flake, he's got the credentials to back him up, I think it's worthwhile to at least try it and then see what your results are, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to blow up, and that's a good thing, right?
Good old
Now,
cat
if you
don't
internet.
avoid
Sorry,
that.
boys.
Yeah.
No worries.
It's by listening to the crazy people that you think are legit, but if you look closely, they're not legit, and that's where you could end up damaging stuff and hurting yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up here, we have Shane chiming in. Eric's title is a little bit more clickbait substance. He still explain they'll be seeding nodes, just not necessarily be chasing one thou at a time.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so I think he did explain eventually, if it stops shooting, it's something to look at, but
Yeah, like chasing 1,000 shooting depth, 100%. I don't think there's any time worthwhile in that.
yeah.
But as Kurt was saying, I mean, when it comes to time management, if I don't have to be continually reworking my load to chase a perceived change in my chamber, that's worthwhile, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that, like, I guess where I was going with my point before I before I disappeared was that it kind of doesn't matter the method or the theory or whatever. Somebody could discover something that's just a little bit different than the most believed theory at the time. Doesn't mean that it is now all wrong. Right. Like, I think a lot of people have this propensity to just completely dismiss what they've been doing for so long because of what they learned or who they learned it from or whatever. And somebody else says something, well, you just chuck that one out the window and grab onto this new one. I don't believe it's that simple. I think there's still, truths in just about every theory, even though there's some that are just a little bit different. So be cautious about, what people tell you is right. Every asshole thinks he's right.
And also, we also have to think too. I heard this recently. Just brought up changes over the years, like flash hole deburring. Just in terms of brass quality. Yep. Chances are, a number of years back, there was probably some pretty shitty flash holes with burrs hanging off on them. But I think quality in general has gone up, even on the low end of things. That like a practice like that is kind of irrelevant. But if you were to pick up a lot of brass from, 30 years ago, chances are, there's probably some ragged edges there that are worth working. But we have to look at that aspect too.
Don't forget about advancements in powder as well. The different chemicals and additives and deterrents and everything else in them. We do have, and I think the consistency there in manufacture has improved a lot as well. We used to hear so much about guys talking about, well, even Varget used to be one of them. That the lot to lot consistencies were guys were changing, and I don't know what size of case they're talking about really now, but changing up to 0.6 to a grain worth of powder between lots. I think that has improved a fair bit. Shane's bringing up some good points here. I saw in the chat. Excellent point, Shane, about the chronographs. The new chronos available have created a huge cost savings, minimizing rework. One of the best investments. Absolutely, like the back in the day, and that day was not too long ago, where if you didn't have chronograph equipment or reliable equipment, you'd shoot your groups at 100 yards, do your load developments at 100 yards or meters, or even 2 or 400 or something like that. But you'd have to verify it out at 1,000 if you're an F-class guy, something like that, and make tuning from there. Reliable, accurate chronographs have changed so much for us. Like Rob, you were talking about 45 rounds worth of load development to get a perfectly adequate load for PRS and things like that. You know what? It might not have been quite so easy. Like it wasn't uncommon to exceed 100 rounds for load development back. Not everybody had a chronograph.
Garmin is another. That's another one of those advancements. They completely destroyed that environment last year and changed how that looked for people, right? They came out with a product that, what is it, Canadian? I think it's about $800, and now you can get pretty much a twin of that through Athlon. I think for around $400, right?
Yeah, Lab Radar really started it. I think
closer to 600, but still that's $200 cheaper.
Yeah, but they were. I mean, Lab Radar kind of sat on their throne. Right, they were the only guys out there with that type of technology, and they were, a couple grand and this big cumbersome thing, and they just kind of sat there like, well, who else is out there? Who's going to take us on? Well, Garmin decided they started it, and
for sure,
and that's where again that it became people seeing how the value in that data was worth it, right?
The sales. The sales tell that story, to be honest.
And then the thing with the advancement, so you have now stuff like this, right? So I can take that, put it on my Arca rail. Put my Garmin on there, and I can check things right as I'm shooting. Like I can be on a stage, I can check velocities, and just see how things are being consistent. So that is.
To be fair, we kind of stole Arca from the camera guys, but it works.
We don't need to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
No, if it works, screw it.
Yeah.
And also,
I think that the camera guys could have kept that system. To be honest, I don't like it.
Also, another thing with our sport, I just saw this at the Apex match is obviously the Garmin and the Athlon's very small, very compact. There is one shooter that flew in from Ontario, and they're starting off the match shooting with the ROs, and they were just not hitting anything. So about 3 stages in, I'm like, okay, I'll set up. I had I borrowed a Lab Radar from somebody, set that up for him, and they were 50 to 60 feet per second out. However, the altitude change from where they were in the environmentals where they did their load development and their velocity recordings changed from the match location. So now in your rifle case, your rifle bag, you can gather that information with a sub 1 pound little cube, and that's huge.
Yeah.
Right. And how long did it take them to get back in the game?
Oh, I think they got like 8 out of 10. And as soon as after they got the right velocity. So
boy.
Yeah.
What a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
not sure exactly what comment Mikey's commenting on, but no one asked you, Kurt. He says, well, it's you should be used to that by now, buddy. It's you know me. I don't need a request. Typically.
Yeah.
I love being able to mount a bipod to my camera lens now. Not a bad idea.
Arca. Yeah. I know. I'm very unpopular with my dislike of Arca. stuff.
Did you not see
still
my
have
spotting
some.
scope camera set up with all of the ARCA?
Oh, I did. That looked like
That was
go-go
a thing of
gadget
beauty.
camera stuff. Yeah.
That was
So you have to explain that to the listeners, Mike, that did not see it in
Okay.
person.
so one of our backups for the Apex match, in case our other like point and zoom camera didn't work, was I had my DSLR and I had my Athlon spotter, and I managed to make it where you had a ARCA plate that would go in a double ARCA into the tripod. We had a 90-degree ARCA on the back of that, and we had another 90-degree ARCA that my camera would sit on. And you adjust it perfectly behind the lens. I'm like, ARCA is amazing. It was quite the engineering project.
If you give Mike enough ARCA, he's probably going to build himself a house with it.
I could build a house with ARCA. I am qualified. ARCA's fun.
Anyways, back to reloading with Rob.
Yeah.
What was your first load development like? Was that a nervous process, or was that kind of like, oh, okay, I've talked to enough people and it's smooth sailing?
I wasn't nervous at all.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was smooth sailing. It was more frustrating at first because you're finding out things. Where's another good tool? Things you don't know you're supposed to have
until you need them.
Until you need them to do the comparators, right? So again, something from back in the day, you measure your coal, right? Overall length of a assembled round. And I had good info on what to do, but in my mind, I was like, what if I took apart something that works already and copy it? Oh, is my phone going to die? That's not cool.
Maybe plug that bad boy in.
Get a cord.
Yeah, give me 5 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
Cappy says it just needs a little more ARCA. Your phone's not going to die. Just
you could put an ARCA clamp on a battery bank.
We should put that on a t-shirt. It just needs more ARCA. That's a t-shirt idea.
And we got Christian chiming in. My store just got some Athlon chronographs in town. I might try one. Price is right. I'm going to agree there. I actually just picked one up last week. Unfortunately, I have not gotten around to trying it. Haven't got out to the range recently. However, I do have a pellet gun in my garage, so I might test its close range, low velocity reading capabilities. So,
funny thing about chronographs, though, and all this fancy equipment, if you don't take it to the range, it doesn't do you much fucking good. Isn't that right, Jens?
Well, their readability hasn't really reached, the multi-kilometer range yet.
Right.
So I feel like there's a bit of a story there.
Oh, there might be. Jens foolishly entrusted me with control of the Garmin that I bought. Like, we both should have known better. Even though I bought it, it should probably reside with Jens. Yeah.
I feel like you're taking the easy route out by just investing in and trusting in your German. So,
well, you know what? There's a lot of value in trusting at least this particular German. I can't think of a time where he's really steered me wrong. So
that's fair.
Instead of collecting more data on our 375 enablers, we conducted a tall target test with his fancy what's that prism thing, the adjustable one, the new one that gives him shoot into, I don't know, Inuvik.
Oh, Charlie Tarak.
Yeah, but it's that big sucker. Like, it's as big as the box on my truck, but it'll adjust up to, I don't know, what the heck did he say?
175 minutes?
No, it's way more than that.
Or sorry, mils. 100 mils?
Yeah. All right.
I think he said 120 or something. Anyway,
we got Rob
so the
back.
tall target test was like 0 to 30 mils. There you go. 210 mils, Jens says.
Yeah.
0 to 30 mils, which is the first click on that, the first stage adjustment on that Charlie Tarek, ended up being 116 inches, 115 point, I don't know, 9.7 or some stupid thing. So we're out screwing posts to the already tall 100 meter target board. And it was quite the calamity, but it actually worked out quite neat. We were there at the range for 2.5 hours simply doing math and figuring shit out before we even fired a shot, for God's sake.
Nerd.
Yeah, well, whatever. I've been called worse by better. Anyway, Rob, sidebar. Where did you leave off there, pal?
Yeah. So anyway, I was somewhat frustrated learning all these new things. There's a lot to learn before you pull that lever on your very first round, and things that I struggled a little bit sometimes about why is that important, right? Hey, who knew that a bullet isn't the same length unless you measure to the ogive, right? You're like, why would it be the same length? Yeah, like who? Why would they not make the bullet the exact same length? You know. So, but I was confident. I wasn't worried. I wasn't afraid. You know what I mean? All that stuff. I was like, once I had all that kind of stuff figured out in my head, and trust me, I blew up his phone a lot, and Kurt. I was messaging Kurt a lot. And it was just more getting your head wrapped around this new language, right? And why 100%. something meant something, and why that was important, right? And it was like, oh, okay. So that was it. And then, but I tell you, when I went out, the results were there. It all came together exactly how I was told it was going to come together, right. Which was nice to see, right?
Mm-hmm. It's that confirmation you finally get from the drinking from the fire hose type activity that you'd taken in before that, and I see.
Yeah.
Even then, though, so a lot of stuff came together for you there, and everything started to click. You got comfortable in the reloading room and comfortable out on the range again. Confirmation that these things are right. However, a guy still runs into trouble every once in a while, as you well know recently. So, would you mind getting into that and what happened, and how did you go about figuring out what happened? Why?
Yeah. So, one of the things you had mentioned, Kurt, about when you hit up like the internet looking for, hey, what's good information or bad information? And if you ask enough people one question, and your answer sample group has a large answer that's the same or roughly the same, that should be a good
it'll aggregate thing somewhere in the full
and
range.
that should be something. Okay, well, the 308 is one of those things that is very easy to reload for, right?
Yes.
And Shane even said, he's like, hey, look, when I started reloading, it was for a 308. And he did exactly that. He went on the internet and asked that question, and he got this very small arena to play in for what would be a good load, right? And typically, your standard 308 load is a 175 grain, which is what I built, right? Very easy round. And it was, you know what? I can't, again, if you ask me what I think you should learn on, I always say 308 long range. And then you can roll it into learning to shoot or reload 308. I think it's a great way to do it and have successes easily, right? Well, not shooting. You don't get those easily, but...
I was about to say wind is...
Yeah. So that was my...
mode with 308.
Yeah. So that was my first year, was reloading that 175. I was using the Pua CNR bullets, which, again, I learned something... After this whole episode this year, learned stuff about ogives even off of the CNR bullets versus what I was using this year with Barnes. So at the end of the year last year, Shane kind of was watching me shoot on matches and just noticed that I still had a bit of recoil management that we could probably deal with a different load. Yep. And it was like, hey, now we're going to get a little fancy. And let's maybe look at the 155 grain bullet for the 308.
Next
right?
step, son. Yeah.
Yeah, right? It's like, hey, the F-Class guys, the Palma guys, they use this round. It's a lot faster. You're going to have less recoil. I think it's it might be a good round to use next year. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that. So I order up all my components and come the new year, I start my load development and off I go, right? And I know, so again, through all the conversation, there's typically, you'll find some of the conversations is always around what velocity you should be expecting for that certain bullet, right?
Of course, yeah.
And when it comes to 155, it's very common to have guys shooting 900 to 3,000 feet per second, right?
Mm.
Okay. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And then
now, in what barrel length?
So
this is something that trips guys up.
Yeah.
So
because if you're reading about F-Class guys and even some of the Palma guys that are using 28 and 30-inch barrels and they're getting that 3,000 feet per second, and if you kind of glaze over the barrel length, if it's even mentioned, you have that expectation of I should at least be able to get close to that.
Yeah.
Which can be a little bit dodgy.
So I do my first round of load development, and it's winter time. It's December of last year, right? So it's cold. I mean, we were probably -10 to -15, and and I forget where I started. I think it was down around 42-ish grains where I started.
Okay.
And I go up in 3 grain increments. And I had some 0.3, yep. And I had some good results. Like I had some good data. Like I had good SDs, good ESs on a couple of charges, and I had some good loads. I had some good targets printing at some of those good those good numbers, right? I was like, hey, but my speeds were around 2,750, 2,800 feet per second. And I'm talking to Shane, and he's like, no, man, you got to get up on those speeds. And I'm like, okay.
Which powder, Rob?
Barget.
Okay.
Yeah. And just to make this, for anybody that's curious, I do have a 26-inch barrel on my 308.
Sure.
So to Kurt's comment, right? And I ended up chasing velocity. And I ended up having load charges that were showing me good numbers, but I was having difficulty getting good targets. You know what I mean?
Printing
and I was printing well. It was averaging around 0.7 to 1 to 1.1 MOA. And I was like, what the hell? And the conversations then well, when was the last time you annealed your brass? I'm like, never. Right? So once again, that ugly word of consistency reared its head. And, I left out a process that I think you have to be prepared for, especially in the cost-wise, which is annealing, right? So went over to one of the teammates there, Jordan's house, and used as a annealer and annealed up the brass, and that did make a difference. So ended up buying the ugly annealer. But yeah, so more cost. But away I went, and I ended up finding a load that wasn't too bad. It was being pretty consistent around 0.6 MOA, and it was like, okay.
Yeah.
And away I went.
And this was in the spring at what temperature?
Yep, right.
Okay.
Now we're getting to maybe around 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so I was able to shoot a few matches. I shot, my first match of the year was the NRL match at Cranbrook. And that had been, to date, that was my best match I ever shot. It was,
good.
It was amazing. The rifle was just hammering. I was getting yeah, so I was like, wow, I was really excited with this round. I'm like, this is it. This load is amazing. This was a great choice. And that match, I mean, it wasn't a super hot. This is early May still, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the next match was a Sapporo match, and
Day one.
well, now we're like 30 degrees, blazing heat, and I'm halfway through the match, and you're starting to have that like hard bolt lift, right? And next, you pull the bolt back, and nothing comes out.
Oh no!
Yeah, so blue extractor, that guy, right? And it still wasn't. I mean, the bolt lift wasn't crazy. Like the hard bolt lift wasn't crazy, but it was hard bolt lift. And then when you looked at the brass on the ground, and again, these are things that I'm still not experienced with, right? Because I've only been reloading and I've had good successes. So it's like reading your brass, right? Oh,
100%.
do you have an ejector mark? I don't know, not really. Do you have, or the ejectors? You know what I mean? Like you see in flattened primers, not really. And the guys are taking a quick look at it, and it's looking okay. It's nothing jumping out, especially when you look at ones that are really been exposed to that, right?
Right.
So I just ended up hot swapping a bolt with Mikey that day, and then borrowed one for the next day and finished out the match, and away we went.
Isn't that something, hey?
Yeah, and then I put in a new extractor. Then I shot another match. I shot the Claire's Home NRL, and it was fine all that match. And then we go into the Apex match. It's another hot day, and the bolt lift was really hard. Like I was hammering that bolt open.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the same load at this point, Rob?
Same load. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same load. And I was like hammering that bolt open, and it didn't last 2 stages. I got 2 stages in, and that was it. Another one gone.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So I wanna get into that bolt swap. It's kind of an interesting thing. But before we do, so the load that you landed on in the spring.
Yep.
What did you end up with for powder charge and resulting velocity with those 155?
40. Yeah. So it's 46.3 grains.
Okay.
Of Varget, and I was hitting my average around 29.70 feet per second.
Jeez, that's working.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, at the Apex match, when you had your second extractor failure.
Yeah.
So do you know what your velocities were there?
Yep. It was still under 3,000. It's still like 29 and change, right? 29.70.
Is that right?
Yeah, it hadn't gone up terribly, but it comes back to one of the things we earlier touched on, which is how many firings you got in the brass and quality brass, right?
Sure. Sure.
So again, when it broke at the Apex match, and we had a closer look at the brass that day because of how hard I was hammering the bolt, the signs were clearly there. You can see the swipe marks. You can see the ejector mark on it. The primers were showing signs of flattening, right? So they were there. It was like, you know what, you're clearly overpressured. And if I had better brass, if I was shooting Lipua brass, would I have that problem? Maybe not, right? It probably would have had a better chance of withstanding that load, right? But
maybe not. That brass that you were using, I think, is pretty thick stuff. I'm not sure how hard it is versus Lapua brass, but
that toughness factor.
So my lesson from this is there's signs you have to be cognizant of, and that hard bolt lift was always there in the sense of, again, you kind of think of hard bolt lift on that last match where I was like hammering, like I was really beating on that bolt to get it up and to bring it back, right?
Yeah.
Like, so you think of that as hard bolt lift, but you have to. We always talk about if you do it, and again, why is my rifle not shooting? Especially if you're a hand loader, go back and buy a box of factory match ammo and see how your rifle shoots, right?
Yeah.
Because that's always a good way to go. So the same thing. What does my rifle feel like without, that would have no hard bolt lift? Go buy some factory ammo.
Right.
So there was
Not
hard bolt
Hornady.
lift, and so I should have probably been paying more attention to those signs and been more adamant, like, hey, I think maybe I do have some high pressure here. What should we be looking at and how to fix that, right? Yeah.
Well, I think part of that, Rob, too, is it's a factor of time. Do I have enough time for a rework?
100%
between matches. And maybe that was a one-off, and we'll try it one more time. It's just easier. I don't have time. All that kind of stuff.
You're in my head.
Ever the optimist. Man, I've been there. I can tell you, I have a very, very similar story with the 33XC that I used to run. I ran some loads on a couple of very hot days, 31. One day when we were out training at furlongs, it got up to 34 degrees, I think. And you know what? It seemed to reload fine on cooler days. It seemed to perform. So I went last year to the King of 2 Mile competition with that same brass because it performed well the last time out. And last year at King of 2 Miles, every single round stuck. I'd get every round out, but every round stuck. Once you swell that brass, once you stress it beyond beyond that point of failure, you're cooked. And it was an incredibly valuable lesson. I think you learned pretty much the same one.
100%. And like, again, going back to your mentors, right? Like, this is not something that it falls on their feet, because once they watched me that day and then they look at the brass and they're like, oh yeah, the high pressure, like, dummy, why did you not say anything? Or why are we here?
What are you doing? I already taught you how to ride this bike. Now it's up to you. The bike is smashed.
100%. So this is by no means is derogatory against those guys, right? They you have to take ownership of what you're doing and be your own advocate. So learning experience. I was able to recover well from that day. We were only I was only like an hour and a half away from the match. An hour from the match. Not even that. I'm only like 20 minutes from the match. So I was able to go home. I had a bunch of my 175 ammo still reloaded from the year before. So I swapped out all my ammo. I had to reload another extra 20 rounds so I could re-zero. And came back to the match, re-zeroed, and ended up missing 3 stages. Bit flustered on the 4th stage, so I drew another 0 on the 4th stage. But I ended up, man, oh man, I finished well in that match, all things considered, right? Yeah, it was a good recovery. Oh, and of course I had to swap out the extractor with another one from another rifle. So
that's the extreme version of the guy who forgot his fully loaded mag. He's on the firing line. He throws it in, then realizes he's got a full mag in his bag, runs back and get it. But that was obviously the extreme version where all of a sudden you're getting in the truck and driving home.
I don't know. People were like, "Did you leave?" Yeah, I had to leave, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think everybody I've ever talked to, even Kurt, like you're saying, even just now about your furlong match. I don't think there's anybody that I've talked to that hasn't had episodes reloaded, right?
Yep.
And I think if you do it long enough, and I haven't even done that long, I've been out a year. This is my 2nd year. You're going to have issues, so I think you guys should be prepared for that. And just learn, and not just about the load or the process, but also what bad outcomes look like. Right? Be prepared for what that looks like and how to mitigate all that stuff. Right?
Yeah.
And you don't always have to know what the hell to look for, but you do have to know that you should be looking for
Yep.
something that's just a little bit different. It's just like scouting
Yep.
for deer or whatever.
Yep.
You know, you might not see that sucker in the bush, but
Yep.
that doesn't necessarily look like a bush there. You know what I'm saying? There's an ear twitch or something like that. It's the same thing. Like this, something looks off here. Stop.
Yeah.
Assess.
Another issue I was having this spring was resizing, consistency issues.
Yep.
I had stopped, even though I have the good dyes, I had stopped measuring because everything was going so well, right?
Mm.
And next thing you know, you let your guard down, and the next thing you know, what you start having is, geez, that bolt is a little close to hard. That bolt's a little close to hard, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a little hard to close. And
we're with you.
Yeah, yeah.
We know what you mean.
English second language.
The sign language gave it away.
And then you start to realize after you grab, your barrier tools that, I'm not bumping anywhere near I should be. Like, what's going on, right? Well, guess what? Yeah, and then that starts leading back to your brass prep, which slides back to your consistency, which is like annealing and stuff like that, right? So there was a whole lot of things that, and it wasn't like I wasn't told to, like, hey, you should kneel. I was told that. One of those things I chose to kind of like, well, this is working well. Do I need to spend $1,000 or $2,000 on an amp annealer?
Right.
But
you know what? We're males. We learn by making mistakes. We can be told all day long what you should or shouldn't do, but until you whack your own thumb a number of times, it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe Shane was right.
Maybe Shane was right.
Yeah.
So
weird.
Yeah. So that's the journey, and it continues. There is a cartridge. So part of the conversation for cartridge has been towards a 25 Creedmoor. I like the idea. It's a barrel cost, right? Sure. Now, it just so happens I did do a barrel change this year because it was thought that maybe my barrel was shot out, which I think it probably was. It wasn't helping things, right? But again, I have parts for 1,000 rounds. I have components for 1,000 rounds. I just couldn't up and change
you can't
cartridge
that.
and then restart. Buy another 1,000. So
I bet you have a couple of 5-gallon pails in your basement somewhere full of. You never know when you could use that someday.
Yeah. So now I have a new 308 barrel that's good for another 4,000, 5,000 rounds. So we'll get there.
Yeah.
I would like to, in the NRL world, move into. I've been shooting the skills division because I don't make weight. So I would like to get a carbon barrel on there, which, of course, if I'm buying that to get weight, I might as well buy the 25 Creedmoor barrel, right?
Oh, check your shoes. I think it's a slippery slope you're standing on.
Well, it is. Well, this is the slope of reloading right there, right? Yes. This is where you end up. So yeah, we'll get there. Then it's a good thing I got a 8-position turret press. So that would only be 3 cartridges I'd be loading for, so I'm still good.
I got to read this one out. This one's a gem. It might actually win the internet today.
Yeah.
Our buddy Cappy says, for the listeners out there.
Yeah.
He says, an old instructor told me, well, boys, enough talking this bullshit. Go put your dicks in the dirt and let's see what these bullets will do today. That deserves a t-shirt, I think. Wouldn't have been my first thought, but hey, I can relate.
But anyway, my plans to salvage this 155 grain load, because I am actually quite intrigued with it. I did see some moments of brilliance with it this year, and it does have me like somewhat invested. Is going back to, what is your gun like? What is your gun going to do, right? And I I think when you examine, if you set goals for what you want to achieve when you're reloading, I think it'll help drive your process. Right? You got to have an end zone, right? An end game.
Yep.
So I think it's important for what I'm doing to at least be able to achieve 1,000 meters and still be supersonic, right? And not transitioning. You should be transitioning after 1,000 meters. So when I use the applied ballistic software and I put in 2,800 feet per second in there, it tells me that I should still be doing 1.1 Mach. So, So I think it's worthwhile to try that. Let's put my dick in the dirt and see what comes out of there, right?
I feel like that saying's gonna pop up a few more times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it may not be. I may not have a load that is traditional in a sense of, hey, how come you're not at 3,000 feet per second? But it may end up being a killer round for my rifle, and you don't know until you load and shoot it.
That's right. That's right.
But
and for the record, I think goals are bullshit. Push.
You think goals are bullshit?
Stay home. Yeah. Push the envelope. You got to find your ceiling.
Yep. But I have I now have enough knowledge and experience to I'm comfortable to play around with that now and be confident with the results I get.
Yeah. You got some data.
Yep.
Good and bad. You got some data, boy.
Yep.
All right. Quickly, I want to get to something in the chat here, but Rob, why don't you shout out a few of your mentors or places of business, training, anything like that that you found valuable through your I gotta hate this because it's so overused, but your journey.
My journey. Yeah, 100%.
Transition journey.
The very first guys near and dear to me are the boys over at EM Precision. Yeah, Shane and Mike, Mike and Steve. Those guys have been there, right? And they know what they're talking about. So Steve is this guy behind the curtain. That guy never comes out, but he's a huge guy behind the curtain, right?
Yeah.
He's
pulling all the levers and chains.
Yeah, like he builds you this piece of magical steel, but then he can tell you like how to shoot it, and he can tell you how to load for it, and you tell him things like it's making this noise. And, I know exactly what's going on. So super happy and fortunate and humbled to have those guys in my contacts list, right?
You bet.
And then as far as getting behind the rifle, call sign 66, right? Amen. That was one of I met those guys on my very first SHOT Show, and their logo is extremely unique. It stands out, and I remember seeing that and asking people like, who are those guys? Never heard of them before in my life, right? Heard who they were, and I'm like, I need to talk to those guys. And then we spent the night getting hammered at the backyard. Well, they were, which is cool, but we ended up getting hammered that one of the nights at SHOT Show at the Circle Bar together. And it was awesome. Ended up working with those guys. I hosted a couple of their courses, and put through two groups of customers through their courses, and got to take the course doing that. And their philosophy on shooting is bar none one of the best, right? It's super down to earth. I think it's super amazing. It's super open. And it, again, when I'm struggling, you can lean on stuff you learn from those guys, and it carries you through, right? And they've always been like Carrie and Cappy have been amazing. They'll answer my text messages. They'll answer my calls. And they've always got good, supportive things to say. So, again, fortunate and humble to have those guys in my world.
You talk about Miles, Carey, and Cappy, and you talk about guys like Steve. Those guys have already made all the mistakes, so that you don't have to.
Yeah,
they get some. they've got the scabs and the scars to be able to steer you the right way. That's valuable.
Yeah, 100%. And then having yourself, Kurt, you and Jens, man, oh man, again, little different viewing things. I definitely find you to be the tempered voice, right? You can
a little bit more flexible.
I don't hear that often. Yeah.
No, I mean, because sometimes I tend to look at, I'll be like, that doesn't sound right, or I think that might be a bit elitist what might be said, and it's just like it's good to bounce things off you and get it, that a little bit more earthy view, right?
Yeah.
And it's good to see the other side of it, and it's not a perspective of garbage either. So so
which you can find anywhere.
Yep.
I'm pretty black and white, really, isn't it?
Yep. So it's great having, I'd say you're definitely a bookend on my journey of people. Yeah. And another person that I've come to have realized and understand I've been fortunate to have in my life my journey is Frank Taylor from Accuracy First Canada.
Excellent.
Yeah. I managed to get out and shoot with him in one of his Leo courses one time. And you talk to that guy, and without even trying, he spits out knowledge that just blows your mind, right? And you're like, no shit. Yeah, like just when I was talking to him about wind reading, right, and like understanding wind, and he's just like, well, if you hear the wind, that's like 15 miles an hour. I'm like, what do you mean hear the wind?
All I hear is tinnitus.
Right? But
you guys can hear?
Yeah, like so. But if you've ever set out to, once you hear that, you can't not understand what he meant, right? Like you'd be like, oh, today's windy, but you don't hear the wind. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, I hear the wind. Oh, I know how fast it is, right?
All you needed is someone to plant that into your brain.
Yep. And so the team guys from EM Precision were extremely fortunate to attend the Accuracy First course here, I think a couple of weekends ago. And I tell you what, one of the things Frank is just a wizard on is the Kestrel, right? I mean, that's the Accuracy First course is based around the Kestrel, and he just knows that thing so much. What is Shane saying?
He says a couple of us just did a course with Frank Taylor. It was a pretty wicked experience.
Yeah. So he dropped some truth bombs or knowledge bombs on the Kestrel and those guys, and Shane was just like, God damn,
Right.
So there's always room for technology in what we do because that's where your data comes from, right? So it's good to have that.
Yeah, you guys just weren't lucky enough to have a German. For that. You had to go and learn from Frank.
Yeah, had to go learn from Frank for me.
Good man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are like, when you open up that box of people, I'm very fortunate and I'm humbled to have been associated with, and I can call on and call friends. That's a lot of them right there.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's not hard to find those either, is it?
Nope. I mean, how many people can walk up to Shane and Mikey at the range on a match? And that guy he will 100% talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, Shane.
Yeah, both of them will.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he's not talking, he's likely dead.
Yeah. Carrie, Cappy, you'll walk. Those guys 100% will talk to you. They will never say, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
My experience as well, for sure.
So those are
all right. Should we get to some of these comments? The One-Armed Bandit has some pretty important things to say here, I think.
Sure.
It looks like. Is everybody okay with that?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Okay. So one ABNT NDT and the One-Armed Bandit fired up firearms, food, fun, and friends. Join us for shooting food and fun at Penticton Shooting Sports. Meet MPs Helena Conans and Dane Lloyd, all welcome. And he's saying the date is Wednesday, August 13th, which is Tuesday, I believe, isn't it? This coming Tuesday at 5 to 8 p.m. At the Penticton Shooting Sports facility. Now that's the range that's getting shut down or the land reclaimed and handed over to another group, let's just say. Penticton Shooting Sports Range, 1797 British Columbia, 97 Penticton, BC. Where does he go? Okay, now this one here I'm a little bit unclear on. Penticton Shooting Sports Range. Rocky Rod and Gun Club has approved the construction of a 1,612 meter, 1 mile rifle range. Now, is that the same organization, 1AB?
No, that's different.
Two comments here.
That's Rocky Mountain House.
I think he might have
he's talking two
himself
different
in the
things
second
there.
comment.
Say that again, sorry?
I think he corrected himself in the second comment because there's two comments back to back.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So it's actually, I do believe it's the Rocky Rod and Gun Club will be making a 1 mile range, which is badass.
I see.
Yeah.
But if I'm understanding this correctly, there's still a meet on Tuesday at Penticton Range.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not aware. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm not aware of the progress on that whole ordeal. Is it still being taken away from the leasees?
As far as we know, yes.
Is that right?
There is an e-petition right now to argue over it. And I know some people aren't a fan of e-petitions or say they do nothing, but you're also doing nothing by not signing it, which is not helpful.
That's right.
So go sign
That's
it.
right. Yeah, you betcha. Mikey adds, I'll throw this up here, or maybe I won't. Somebody, wait a second. There, I'll throw it up now. Mikey adds the Rocky 1 mile will be open September 7th, but they have it limited to 338 Lapua at the moment. So all you guys with big guns and small wieners can't attend, I guess, like me.
300 PRC it is.
Yep.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, well, if you can't hit a mile with that, get some training. Call sign 66. .ca.
Nice plug.
All right.
Nice segue.
I know.
Should we talk about the one thing that everyone's the thing everyone's getting excited about?
Oh, do we want to do that?
Well, let's kick a hornet's nest. It only has to last 20 minutes.
All right. Let's have your thoughts.
Okay, so some of you may be aware that the CCFR has put a video, and the gist of it is they're asking liberal MPs or people with liberal MPs to meet with their MPs to tell them, you know what, maybe don't go with the whole confiscation buyback scheme. Maybe just grandfather us instead. And people are losing their minds over it.
Well, and that's one thing Rod said on that video that I watched today was, the liberals are kind of getting what part of what they want, where if you accept this grandfathering thing, that you won't have to worry about new gun sales and things like that. So that, I don't know, man, it feels so defeatist, last stab kind of thing. I want to be able to support just about everything they do, but I don't know if I can. That's
it depends on how you look at it. And I mean, like, there's a spectrum. There's, you know what, this is a good move towards, if it's above a complete zero loss. And there's the other crowd over here who's like, I want flashbangs from the local SWAT team through my window as fast as humanly possible. Based on some of the comments, I'm like, you can have those thoughts that are over here, But maybe keep them to yourself and not where a court of law could put them up in a trial.
And that is the tricky part, is how do you dance with the devil? Because as of right now,
not with slippers and velvet gloves anymore. I don't think that's the part I have trouble with.
Yes,
we've been trying that for decades now, and
I don't think we have. In the 90s, I don't know. This is my opinion as someone who can't own an MP5 because everyone older than me ruined it. Thank you. So
whatever.
After the 90s, it seems like the gun kind of thing kind of went underground, and it was gaining a lot of steam until May 2020. Because I don't know if they're realizing that, hey, this is getting bit too popular. We need to shut it down. And now that we're kind of open about it, like, do we really want to go back to going underground? Because this kind of seems like it to me.
Well,
no,
for
underground is not the answer.
No.
So we got to be more or less left us alone.
Yeah. Well, we got to be open about it. So here's how I would think about it. If they gave us grandfathering and the ability to take them to the range, so everything you owned could be taken to the range at least, or retain its original status. So you had like a 12.9 is your new prohibited license, but you could still take your WK hunting kind of thing. If we had that, no one could buy anything, but people could use them. If people can use them, you can host more range days. You can get people who normally would never have access to that into their hands. This is a long game. Eventually, you will have enough public support where they say, you know what, that gun ban doesn't make sense anymore.
And also, we've got to look at it short-term gain versus long-term gain. We're not going to get any major gains with the Liberals. In fact, we've taken a number of massive steps backwards into piles of shit and flies and angry bees.
Has accepting a ban with the intent of being able to use and expose people to that work for something like the FN?
No, but that was never the intent of it. This is all depending on if we get a 12.9 with these conditions.
And that's my whole point. Is that
it still sounds like a concession.
Once these things tend to enter, I've never known anything to this day and age that has come out of being a grandfather prohib.
12 points.
Once it's in there, once it's there, it's there, and nobody brings them out. That's right. Yeah.
So
I've shot 12.6 handguns on a range because you can. I know everyone's. I'm gonna chime into one AB's comment here. So you approve of putting your NR on a red sheet for future confiscation? No, thanks. The government has approved almost $7 million to an undisclosed company. You're on multiple lists with the RCMP already. They have a PAL. They know where you live. You have a social security number. You have a cell phone. They know where you are. You're tracked already. If you think that you're some sort of gray man, they know everything. They know.
Another thing is, like, there's different levels to this of what it theoretically could be.
Yeah, we're still in the theory stage.
Yeah, so in my opinion, if this were to happen, the way to do it would just be based on the date of your license. Like, if you have received a firearms license before X date, whatever ban, you essentially have the classification to have the firearms prohibited by OICs. And I think that would probably be the most ideal situation. In some debate, a good or bad situation where essentially it is by date. So then if, because we all have our firearms license before a certain time, we can buy or sell. However, buddy that's just getting his today would not be included in that. And that's the details that have to be ironed out and debated if it's going to be a thing going forward. That's a big if, because they can reject it wholesale.
I don't agree with concessions that end up screwing over a future just to save myself.
Well, that's the thing. It may be a short.
I don't agree with that.
But it
won't. Oh no, you don't have to agree with it, but it is a valid.
No, that's right.
Yeah, it's a thought process, but it's a thought process aimed at somebody wanting to play with the toys they have now, and and throwing the future guys under the bus. And I don't agree with that.
However, again,
It's a much
'cause
larger fight.
our only real solution is a change in government, and we
The
only
only real
get that
solution?
opportunity so many times.
Yep.
So that's the other point is, well, until the next opportunity for a government change, if we can make an incremental advance, that may be preferable.
Yeah, listen, you guys, I see your points of view. I don't think I can share that same point of view. Like, I respect what you're thinking and the possibilities and all that kind of stuff, but I have such distrust for anything those cocksuckers do or agree to or say. The chances of them actually honoring anything that might be some sort of advancement or even agreement between two parties. I just don't think it's going to happen. They're slimy pricks. It all comes down to that. Their fucking word means nothing. That's been proven thousands of times over. And again, I can't get over that. It is a concession, or at least how I perceive your points of view, and what Rod or the CCFR is trying to do. It's like I'd said before the show. To me, it seems like the last ditch efforts of a dying man.
Yep.
Yep.
I would say the world is built on people that show up. If you're going to take the time, to show up on a Liberal MP's doorstep to have a conversation about guns, then step into the ring and do all you can to change that person's mind about guns, period.
Mm-hmm. I have a little bit of trouble getting past the whole, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure not all Liberal MPs are the same, but that old do not cast pearls before swine.
Yeah.
The pig doesn't give a fuck that they're pearls. That Liberal MP doesn't give a fuck what you feel about your firearms, generally speaking.
So either you're going to effectively change a person's mind by being dogged and determined and reasonable, or you're not. But I think if you're going to put the effort into the suggestion of, hey, go to your Liberal MP, then don't go there to acquiesce and screw over a future. Go there with the intent of changing their mind for, you know what I mean? Like this, either we're in for guns or they're gonna have to work to take them away. That's all I'm going to say about that. They're going to have to work to take them away, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and to me, one of the thoughts that was going through my head when I was watching that video today was that Rod was talking about talking to these MPs and taking them to 6 pages and have them read it and then a short discussion and then leave. Well, man, there's a certain level of diplomacy and intelligence that has to go along with that. And you think about so many people in our herd, let's say, that are so emotionally fired up and the intelligence aside, I'm not one to judge. Well, listen, I'm not, how do I say, maybe qualified to judge someone else like that. But you know what emotion does.
Are we going to have the best representation showing up, is what you're saying?
That's right. Yeah. That's exactly right, Rob.
Yeah.
And I get that.
There may be more damage done than any kind of good in some cases. So it's a noble thought. Practically speaking, I don't have much faith in it personally.
But if you do nothing, you're doing nothing, which is worse than nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to do something.
Yeah, but settling. I mean, when when you wait till 2:20 a.m. and you end up taking the fat girl home, what does that do for you? You know, because nobody else picked you, and you couldn't sell yourself well enough to get the pretty girl.
Well,
you're definitely good at facing music from the buddies in the morning, aren't you?
Amen, brother. Yep.
And
her kids are never going to let
the price
it
to
down.
pay, the price you pay for getting some, or the price you pay for not getting some.
Well, but that's that.
Well,
Well,
I mean, if we're boiling it down to the smelter versus the safe, what do you pick?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I would.
There is no third option. Smelter or safe. You have to pick one.
Yeah. Then it's going to the smelter because I'm not giving in.
Yeah.
But then you won't.
And also another thing too is, like this kind of it's kind of an open-end question of what the Liberals are going to do, because obviously they've kicked this can down the road, and October is coming, and we all know they're going to kick the can down the road. The question is, when are they going to pick up the can? And what are they going to do when they pick up the can? Because we've seen a pattern of them kicking the can, and they don't seem to have a plan when they pick up the can to actually do something with it. So I think I think this is kind of a tactic to pressure them to just kind of kick the can to the side and walk on.
I think that's at least partially what it's meant for.
Yes.
They'll do whatever makes them not look stupid. That's what the Liberals are caring about is, does this make us look stupid? We promised this huge thing. We might need to backpedal.
But they do that every fucking day. They look fucking stupid in front of this entire
no,
it doesn't seem to phase them.
To them, they don't want to look stupid. To them. To us, we know they look stupid. But to their people, they don't want to look stupid amongst their people.
Mm-hmm.
They're very self-preservationist.
Yeah, I'm tired of this fucking conversation. I can tell you that.
I'm enjoying the charming back and forth.
We got Kathy chiming in. Bottom line is the police have no capacity to enforce these laws. So ask how it's going to be enforced, then work back from that. That is to how best approach the issue.
Well, listen, I've said this many times before for many years now, especially when people make the statement that, you know, if shit ever went really south in this country, surely the government proposed sicken the military or police forces on the population, surely those people in the military or the police would realize that it's not right doing those things to their people. But how many people are in this country that are from other places and don't give a fuck about Canadians and need jobs? There is a fucking workforce there, ripe, willing, and ready, I'm sure.
Some of them might have worse morals than what we're used to.
Might. Yeah. It'd be a hard fucking sell to tell me no.
Well,
this should end soon, guys.
Yeah.
And I don't even have any booze.
Shane chimed in. I think the conversation is going to be on the back burner while 3 provinces have separation movements and referendums.
If they're 100%. Smart. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even without that, like the move towards the Alberta Provincial Police Force, that's another move away from the federalized police force that is the RCMP, a move away from Ottawa's reach. Those things add up.
They're already talking about cutting how many federal jobs?
60,000, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're broke.
Yeah.
I would rather have a can kick down the road than an acquiesce. Pardon the term.
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
I think at some point, as was already said, the can has to get picked up 100%. But at least there's a can to pick up. And what if it's the Conservatives that pick it up?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's obviously we've put enough pressure on them that they haven't come and completed the task. So we obviously are doing something.
Well, and also
That's the way I see it.
I
That's
hope
what I see
that's
it.
right. Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
It's the cost reward again. The
There-
words coming in the liberals'
There has
mouth
been, yeah.
are
Yeah.
sorry. We're talking over
No,
each
I'm
other.
just saying they've had enough pressure on this venture that they've never followed through with it to date.
Yeah.
So the people that have been doing nothing have been doing something by standing resolute.
Yeah, at least to
and-
some degree, for sure, I guess. Yeah.
But there is far
And
too many guys that are just circle jerking to reenact Ruby Ridge. Like,
Sure.
and there are guys out there, and you're a moron for thinking that that's how it's going to go. I want to get that out there. Because there's a lot of guys like, I'm going to... No, that's not how it's going to go.
Well, I would agree.
No, but there's guys that are damn near fantasizing about it. I'm like, you need to stop.
Yeah.
Think.
Yeah, I agree.
That is a result. That is a result of passion.
Yep.
That's what that is.
Yeah. One AB's mentioned Natalie Provost a couple of times, and he's right. That fucking woman is clearly a radical, and she has fuck all to lose, and she will squeal and piss and fucking moan. She's been doing it for 35 years, and now she's an MP. Do you think she's going to stop now? She's going to bark in those fucking ears until they bleed. This isn't going away. There's no goddamn way.
Yeah.
I actually have a little bit different take on that. I think, I mean, she was always on the Liberal payroll. The Liberal pay is more direct. This time it actually goes into her bank account first.
It's not a triangle.
What is
it's a straight line.
Instead of going into a couple different accounts before getting in her bank account. So I'm on the opinion that it's actually not much of a change.
Bank account aside, it's the radical behavior and the barking that will not stop. She is a special kind, for sure.
Yes.
You go ahead and tell me a person that you know that has pounded away relentlessly for 35 fucking years, paid or not, and still stayed that same course.
Yeah.
But we're the evil ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
They think we're evil. We just think they're wrong. That's pretty much what it boils down to.
I will chime in now too. I do believe. I mean, I think we just passed 100 days, if I'm correct, of the Carney government.
I think it's in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in that range. So far, we haven't seen the social leftism that was categorized by the Trudeau government.
Nope.
So there is that. However, there's lots of time for that to change. So that's one thing we should understand is that we are as much as we still have the red coated captains driving this vessel into the sea, it's a different captain. So we have to kind of understand that context too, I think is important.
So I will say something, and I will preface. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, you sons of bitches.
So I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say with this is that I am no fan of Carney. I don't trust him. I don't like him, and I don't think any current Liberal government is worth anything other than the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
That being said, there's some language that Carney is using that is completely opposite of the things he says as a direction he should be doing as a government is completely different than the things Trudeau said. He has yet to act on anything, so he's just a mouthpiece right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And he has said some very like, elbows up, like fuck whatever. But you know what I'm saying, and this is to agree with your point. That is, this we're no longer a Trudeau, extremely rabid leftist government.
Yeah,
so
we are in a little bit different of a ballpark. Very similar, but we're not out of the woods.
Well, but I think what's going on now is that sure, they're a little bit different. I think their focus is a little bit different. They've shoved a fucking syringe in your ass, and you don't even know it, and they're sucking out all the goddamn blood. Like, Trudeau was a bloody wingnut, and he was, prancing around everywhere, and hey, look at me. This is a little bit different. The fucking plug is out.
Yep.
Oh, we hit 2 hours. So we can stop now.
Yeah. I got to be rolling at 4:30, boys. Let's wrap this up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you can continue, but
continue. No, that was it.
I think we covered a number of things. Is there anything we missed, Rob, that you wanted to talk about?
No, man. I think if I was to sum up my journey, I guess probably the best question you could ask is, would I recommend to anybody else to do the same thing? And I would say, sure.
Good.
Right? like don't be afraid to do it for the sake of what's the best way to put this? Don't feel pressured to reload, I guess, is one way to start this, right? Like, I don't think there's any reason you have to reload to be this amazing superstar precision shooter, right?
Yeah.
I've seen good success out of factory ammo. So I don't think anybody should feel pressure that to be something they have to reload. And to enter the journey at your own pace, right? Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You got to be able to manage it, no matter what you do.
Yep.
You got to be able to manage it.
And to understand that it does not have to be. It's okay once you get it. Like, for me, it's not something that it's like. It's not something like, oh man, I can't wait to get behind that reloading bench again, because I just fucking love it down there. And there are guys like that. There are guys that they it pushes their buttons to go down and reload. They love that part of the journey probably more than pulling the trigger. That's perfect.
Yeah.
And those are the guys that are going to drive the evolution of it, right? But it's okay to put your hand up and say, I'm not doing this because I love it. I'm doing it because it's necessary for me to be doing it and afford it, right? Yep.
Take a look at Christian's next comment, though.
So
the previous one,
free money gone.
Oh yeah.
So for the listening audience, Christian's first comment here was reloading will set you free. His second comment is free time, free weekends, free money, gone.
Yeah.
Oh, Cappy, I
think that's a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cappy says, love reloading. Probably in your mom's basement then. Oh, that's sharp. That is sharp. Cuts to the bone.
Oh.
It's my happy place. Man.
Oh.
All right, guys.
It's been a good chat. Appreciate it, guys, as always.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. All right. Lastly, check us out at facebook.com/BS podcast. Leave a review. Let us know how we're doing. Send us an email at info@bspodcast.ca. Don't forget about the 338 Lapua draw that we have going on right now. Email or send your EMT to info@bspodcast.ca. $20 per entry. Massive thank you to all of our sponsors. Without you, we wouldn't have a show in the first place. Shane and Steve with EM Precision Rifles, Miles, Carey, and Cappy with call sign 66. Duncan and Rob at Both Action Coffee, Phil Odell with Odell Engineering, Doug and Niza with March Scopes Canada, Vanya and Carly with Apex Optics, Oscar with Ribstone Gunsmithing, J.R. Cox with Sterling Arms International. Thank you, an immeasurable amount. Without you, it would not be so easy to come here and talk about politics and bullshit and guys raising my blood pressure and causing me to lose sleep.
Well, we had to, just for clarification, we had to have a for and against for the last little bit. Reviews, my words may not reflect my words.
I feel like a victim.
We didn't intentionally mean to raise your blood pressure.
Yeah.
All right, people. Boys, I got the buttons. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Great talk. Rob, awesome to have you here.
Yeah,
We'll
thank
see
you,
you
Rob.
next week with a surprise guest. It's even a surprise to us.
But some of these bullets, as you saw, have an incendiary device on the tip of it, which is a heat-seeking device.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Welcome to your weekly dose of BS, the Ballistically Speaking podcast.